the unbothered king of modern dancehall in. The ever-evolving landscape of dancehall, few names have stirred conversation and commanded attention like Alkaline. From his breakout in the early 2010s to his continued dominance in the streaming era, Alkaline has faced waves of criticism, from veterans like Bounty Killer, Rodney Price, rivals such as Vybz Kartel, and vloggers like Chris Genius. Yet through it all, he remains one of the most consistent, innovative, and self-driven artists in the genre. This piece aims to address the recurring criticism and defend Alkaline not just as an artist, but as a symbol of evolution in dancehall, someone who challenged the old rules, created his own lane, and proved that individuality still wins. The problem with the old guard mentality, when Bounty Killer speaks, the dancehall community listens. His influence and contribution to the genre are undeniable. However, his criticisms of Alkaline often reveal the growing divide between old-school gatekeeping and modern creativity. Bounty has accused Alkaline of being disrespectful, ungrateful, and detached from the dancehall fraternity. But what he fails to acknowledge is that Alkaline's detachment was intentional and strategic. Alkaline never sought validation from the industry's elders. Instead, he built his own fan base through originality, mystique, and consistency. Where older artists depended on the system of alliances and mentorship, Alkaline thrived through independence, releasing hits without the backing of a major camp label or big man in the business. That's not arrogance. That's evolution. Alkaline vs. Vybz. Kartel. Two eras, two legends comparisons between Alkaline and Vybz Kartel have been constant, often fueled by fans and vloggers who thrive on controversy. While Kartel undeniably laid the foundation for modern dancehall lyricism and image, Alkaline took the formula and flipped it into something new, dark, rebellious, and unapologetically Gen Z. Many forget that Alkaline emerged during a time when Kartel was already institutionalized yet still dominating. Competing with someone of Kartel's stature seemed impossible, but Alkaline managed to carve out his own empire, without imitation, without cosigns, and without scandal. Alkaline's approach wasn't about being the next Kartel. It was about being the first Alkaline, a different breed entirely. His music speaks to a generation that values mystery, self-made success, and silent dominance. That's not rivalry. That's legacy building on his own terms. The bias of media and vloggers like Chris Genius in today's digital landscape, vloggers and commentators wield enormous influence over public perception. Figures like Chris Genius often present themselves as objective voices, but the bias is clear. Whenever Alkaline drops new music, there's a rush to downplay it, to compare it unfavorably, or to question his relevance. But numbers don't lie. Alkaline continues to pull millions of streams across platforms, fill venues internationally, and maintain a loyal fan base known as Vendetta. These achievements come without media favoritism or controversy-driven publicity. The selective criticism from vloggers reveals more about their content strategy than about Alkaline's artistry. In reality, his career represents what many claim to support but rarely do: a self-reliant artist who refuses to bow to the system. Alkaline's artistry, more than just a brand. What makes Alkaline special isn't just his music, it's his entire creative ethos. His lyrics balance raw street realism with introspection and poetic flair. His visuals are minimalist but impactful. His persona is elusive but deliberate. Alkaline turned himself into a brand, not through gimmicks but through consistency and calculated silence. While others chase clout or respond to every diss, he chooses the higher ground, letting music and numbers do the talking. It's this restraint that frustrates critics. They can't control him, can't predict him, and certainly can't outthink him. The legacy in motion Alkaline doesn't need validation from Bounty Killer, comparisons to Vybz Kartel, or commentary from vloggers to prove his worth. His legacy speaks through his independence, innovation, and the loyalty of the Vendetta movement. He represents the future of dancehall, one where artists don't need to align with traditional power structures to succeed. In an era of short attention spans and endless distractions, Alkaline's quiet dominance is his loudest statement. He's not here to fit in. He's here to reign, on his own terms. Final word. The criticisms from veterans and vloggers alike often stem from discomfort. A discomfort with change, self-sufficiency, and silent confidence. But dancehall has always been about evolution, and Alkaline stands as proof that the genre's future belongs to those brave enough to walk alone, vendetta forever.